Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Hey Ian, thanks for having me.
Yep. So, in a few minutes, just tell me about yourself and what you do.
Sure, I'm a high performance coach for executives. I help busy people that have spent their whole life building their business and their family, put a priority on self leadership, and have a little bit more of that elusive work life balance that we've all heard about.
Right. And when did you start?
I've been in coaching, I'd say, since 16.
Since 2016?
Yeah,
And why did you pick that industry?
well, it's just morphed into that because I have a strong background in health and wellness. I'm passionate about helping people live longer, hack their own biology. And I think it's really helped me as just a background in everything. And I've noticed that people don't put a huge priority on their health, and that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So the people that I've had the most success with have been very successful leaders. And it might have started with weight loss, but it became a more robust program because it comes down to mindset and systems. And once you're a systematized, successful, routinized person, you can plug in my systems and become more productive, more successful, and healthier, and just live longer so you can be there for the things you've worked so hard for.
So, how much research did you do into this before you started your business? So, or did you just take what you've already applied in your life and then you tried to teach other people?
Well, I've learned a lot in my life. I've lived a long time and I've failed forward many times. And I used to struggle with my weight when I was younger, and I would always be like on a diet and try every diet there was. And that was really the foundation of my coming up with my systems for the boss weight loss, the 6 steps for permanent success, my book. And a lot of my systems are more about mindset, knowing your why, really digging deep into your what, your why, because once you know your goal, it applies to anything. Then you just have to reverse engineer a plan. So because of all the struggles I've had with my life, I had to come up with systems and plans.
And what do you think causes them people to be inconsistent in their plans that they create? Because people will create a plan and they don't follow it. You know.
I know how that is. Believe me, I've been there, and I have ADD. It's hard to focus. I think productivity is everything, and finding a calendar and just calendarizing yourself so that you know this is my focus time. This is when I'm going to work. This is when I'm going to work on my business. This is when I'm going to work in my business. And then for me, it's holding myself to a higher level of accountability. The same level I hold my clients to, I have to hold myself accountable to take those focus times in, like a Pomodoro, for example, where I'll focus for 25 minutes on, I'm studying course right now. So I told myself last night, I'm going to study this course for 25 minutes and then I'll drift off into Facebook and listen to a video. So I know my brain can't focus for 2 hours. I do better in short bursts. So it's really knowing yourself, and entrepreneurship is hard work. It takes a real commitment to fail forward and learn from those failures and fail again and learn from that failure and just stay focused, stay committed. And it's gritty, it's resilience, it's a lot to keep going.
How do you think people can get past procrastination, right? Because that's just anxiety about starting.
Yeah, procrastination is huge, and it's the excuse. And I'll be honest, I hate excuses, but come on, we've all done it. We've all procrastinated. So productivity happens when you have a coach. You need someone to hold you to the highest level of accountability. Like, did you do the thing? Once you know your what and your why, and you have your system, we all try to have resistance to doing the things that we know that are going to move the needle forward in our life and our business, because we're human beings, just the nature of the dog. So I wouldn't have gone anywhere in my life without coaches, and I still have coaches.
Yeah. And you said you still have coaches yourself?
Oh yeah, like I love to be in classes because it's lonely being an entrepreneur. I like to be in like group classes sometimes because, it's just you're relearning stuff that you've learned and you just take something new out of each time you study something. And just having that camaraderie of other people that are in the grind in there with you.
Right. And is this your first business?
No, I've been an entrepreneur for my whole life. I have worked for other people. It was many years ago in health and fitness. That's always been how I started my career, whether it was teaching class, training people, spinning, selling health club memberships. And then I'd say over 20 years ago, I've just pretty much been an entrepreneur for that long.
So did you experience any obstacles starting this business that you have now?
Oh yeah, I experience obstacles all the time. There's always something that's going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie. I think you got to know what your strengths are and get other people to help you out because I get really a big headache sometimes dealing with tech. Like that's just not my jam. And it's really good to feel good about yourself. Like I like speaking. I don't mind being on the camera. It took me a long time. When I first started speaking and I realized I had to do it, I was petrified. But I just pushed myself and pushed myself and pushed myself because when you have your own business, if you're not promoting it, nobody else is. At the same time, I can't do every aspect of my business. So it's good to know your strengths, know what you enjoy. Like I love coaching people. I love talking to people, like podcasting. And so some other stuff I can't do it. I have to have a team, people to help me.
And how did you get your first clients?
You know what? I do really well on LinkedIn. That's really my favorite place. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, like all the other social media I love, but more like I'm about business and about business clientele. And they're on LinkedIn. I think it's the most amazing platform.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, LinkedIn is a really great. That's how we met. So,
Yeah, I meet the best people on LinkedIn and become friends with them. Like I feel like I'm friends with these people that I Zoom with.
and what are some of your biggest accomplishments that you've had in your business?
Well, I think, writing the book was hard for me because I'm very dyslexic and have focus problems. So like sitting down and writing a book and pandemic pivot was difficult. I'm proud that I've done that. Doing a DVD, I did a fitness DVD and that was me being like petrified to be in front of the camera. I'm proud that I pushed myself to do the hard things because hard things are required as an entrepreneur. So if you don't like being in front of the camera, you have to make yourself being in front of the camera. If you're me, like for my business, I had to do that. And if you don't like writing, you have to learn how to write for having a voice. So it's really doing the hard things and pushing myself that I'm so proud of that I accomplished the things that do not come naturally to me.
How long did it take you to write your book?
Well, again, I had a coach, I had some help where you have to like to write a book, you have to have that same focus time, like to do anything, to accomplish anything. Like I had to make time where I actually write and I have to have an outline. So I'd say 9 months to a year for the whole project.
Oh, and when did you release it?
2019, it was voted best diet book in Los Angeles, The Boss Weight Loss, it's called.
Wow, that's extraordinary.
Thank you.
It's a really big accomplishment. And which entrepreneurs did you look up to, before you started this business as an example to, pave the way?
Well, this is going to sound cheesy, but I'm like the hugest Tony Robbins fan. He
Yeah.
really motivates me. And even during the pandemic, I did the UPW online and it was fun. I get inspired by motivation and energy, and he is just so energetic and motivated. And I follow a lot of other entrepreneurs. I've had a lot of coaches, and I feel like you get something from everybody if you have a growth mindset, if you have an open mindset, even if 90% of some digital course you buy or some class you take or some certification program is not for you. there's always that 10% that you can get and you can focus on and you can learn from. So during the pandemic, I pretty much overdid it and jumped into everybody's class and just took a bunch of notes. I have like 7,000 notebooks over here with little sticky notes, and I
Well,
kind of got to organize that. But I love learning and growing and reinventing myself every 6 months.
yeah, forever a student, right?
Yeah, always. There's like no point where I'm like, "Ah, I know it all."
Yeah. And one section of business that a lot of people struggle with is finance. So how did you manage your finances within starting your own business?
It's difficult. I'll tell you that you have to be a little scrappy to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
and sacrifices have been made. I'm convinced that I need this expensive class and this expensive that, so cut back on a lot of lifestyle stuff for a long time and got loans, things like that.
What are some of your biggest business insights from your years of being an entrepreneur that could help someone who wants to be like you, follow in the same steps? Or
Well, I just think nobody fails unless you give up, and it's never as easy as everyone makes it seem like it's going to be on the internet. Like, you just have to keep trying the things and doing the things that are hard and reinventing yourself till you find something that works, and then just become resilient. Just give yourself a pep talk. Every day I listen to like a meditation in the morning and focus on my top 3 goals for the day and things that I'm grateful for. And I take downtime because hustle, hustle, hustle doesn't work for me. I've gotten burned out from that. So I've traveled a lot in the last couple of years because after the pandemic, I realized, wow, I actually miss my family. I'm from New York and I live in California. So I enjoyed the silver lining of the pandemic for me was being able to work remotely now and traveling. I've traveled a lot, and that feeds my soul. Getting out in nature feeds my soul. So I think it's about the hustle and flow, finding that balance.
so do you travel for business as well, or just to, leisure?
Oh, yeah, I like to speak. I'll like go somewhere and speak. I'll find a way to combine work and play, and I'll travel just and bring work with me because that is something I didn't used to do before the pandemic, and now I'm like, wow, could be in the Hamptons in my friend's backyard and working, and
Mhm.
isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's important to reflect and have gratitude of how far you came. So,
It's it's nice. It really is nice to be able to travel.
so what is an important realization you made throughout your entrepreneurial journey that changed your perspective and pushed you in the right direction? I like one.
Well, the hardest thing for me in the beginning was I just had this timeline in my mind of do this by that, and it's like a recurring theme, and I had to calm down. That's one of my mantras: calm down. I won't tell you the whole thing, but it really is about calming down and not comparing myself to other people because
That's
when I
good.
took my first like business class online and the coach was like, "Oh yeah, like in 3 months, you'll like fill your program and just buy this course." And then you see like some people are killing it and can figure it out in 90 days. And that wasn't my journey. My journey was more rocky road, bumpy road, up and down, not like straight line. So to me, it's about not comparing myself to others, loving myself with flaws and all. And just because of my grit and resilience and my personality, just showing up with energy all the time, I think really helps. So don't compare yourself to others, run your own race, stay in the game. Those are some of my biggest tips.
That's very thoughtful. So, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Wow, that's a great question. To me, I want to leave a legacy of that you can be successful at any age and that there's no like glass ceiling for women and ageism and that you can just keep going no matter what, and that I was resilient and that I was gritty and that I stayed in the game.
Right. And do you have any causes that you care for?
Oh, yeah, there's so many of them. I mean, to me, sports and fitness is like a huge passion of mine. So I care about like Girls on the Run. It's like a charity here in Los Angeles where running helps people get out of like really extreme urban areas. And I believe that if you have programs for kids in sports, it can change the trajectory of their life.
Right. If you said from a young age, having a lot of programs for young kids.
Yeah, no, I think that's what's needed. I think there's been so many budget cuts and things cut out, but I think that's our future. Like if there are programs for children, like Girls on the Run is just one of them, where kids are having programs where they're encouraged to have a sport that teaches them discipline and getting out in nature and getting away from their environment, like all the things that are important to me. And I didn't really have that, but I really support that for our young people.
Right. Yeah, discipline, getting out all their energy, putting the energy in the right place, and it could get them scholarships. All their work ethic, bleeds into education and you know into good things in their lives. That's right.
Yeah, I think more people need to get their kids in sports and away from video games.
Oh yeah. So, what is a final message you'd like to leave with our audience?
I just say to don't believe in can't and don't worry about the past because it's already over. Just fail forward and wake up every morning with fresh new energy that you got this and just keep going and stay the course.
And finally, just one question. What would you say about people who maybe can get over the past, but still get so much anxiety about what if for the future?
Well, we all have that. I'm like anxious person. Like to me, that's what I think drew me into sports. Just it calms me down. Just it's really a mindset piece. If you tell yourself you can, then you're right. Oh, Henry Ford. Either way, you're right. If you think you can or you think you can't. So it's true. You have to talk to yourself. It's a hard thing. You got to do hard things and you got to set your mindset for success. And if you're feeling super anxious, that's normal. I get there all the time. I think find a way to go do 10 jumping jacks or go for a walk and appreciate nature and call a friend, find somebody to support you along the way, but don't give up on your dreams.
Take action, right?
Yeah, anxiety is something I just deal with. I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm hyper.
Right. Lisa, thank you so much for giving us the time to tell us about your history as an entrepreneur, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Ian.
No problem. Bye.